in this asshole.
No black cats, just straight facts.
PPP Certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome to the Pro Play Pursuit. We are here to recap UFC 267 and break down UFC 268. It's a double card, baby. 2 back-to-back numerical UFCs. How do you guys feel?
Feeling lovely. 10 out of 14 last week. Not too bad. Had a couple of big swings and a couple of misses here and there. But I'm feeling good on this card just as a fan and as a gambler. Double whammy in that perspective as well. So all in all, it's looking pretty good going into November. How you doing, Alex?
You know, I couldn't be better. One better than you, actually. 11 out of 14. I had a very good night and was able to do the unthinkable, have one of my best personal friends reach the highest of highs, reach the top of the mountain. Lukey.
Glover Teixeira wins the UFC light heavyweight title. Long time coming. History in the making. History has been made. And Alex, you were right. I'm going to move you actually over into the driver's seat here because you are officially ahead of me now by 1 percentage point, and Dan will remain on the bottom until he catches up. That's fine. A lot of people will be happy just to be in your seat, Dan. So your really nice seat, I might add, with a new microphone stand and new lighting, it seems, great bookshelf behind you. I know you read all those books too. That's not just for show. So really, really, really cool. I like what we're doing here. As you guys see, I got a new chair. I'm wearing a fantastic, nice, cozy winter outfit, getting ready for winter here. Winter is coming, but for now, we had a profitable night. I went 11 out of 14, just like Alex. He's edging me by 2 picks this year, this calendar year, year 2 of our sports betting journey. And yeah, as you see here, we're all over 60%. Some of us higher, closer to 70. But it was I who was able to put his balls on the line. We all picked Gian in the original broadcast of the show. On the After the Weigh-Ins episode, I came on here with Alex, and I picked Glover. I switched 2 picks. I switched one that happened to be my undoing in a lot of parlays. I switched from Volkov to Tybura. Tybura did a lot of what I thought he was going to do, but he didn't execute the takedown. Didn't get him to the ground like I thought he might when I started to really watch the fight. Seeing Volkov, his hair is kind of going now. That kind of did it for me. I was like, oh, he's aging quick. Tybura looked fresh on the mic. He speaks English very well. He convinced me. He was going to win the I was like, the Polish power is going to come out, but not with Gian, with Tybura. So I switched. That was one of the picks I got wrong. I'm counting that. And Glover, I switched to him. And all my parlays busted by the time we made it to the main event. I was down some money, guys, from betting these parlays. So I said, you know what? Losing's not an option when I'm in New Jersey, baby. As long as there's a fight left to happen, I don't care if I got to bet the over. I don't care if I got to bet it to be a draw. I don't care what I got to bet. I know that if you give me one shot, I will make the kill. And I was able to make the kill. The first bet is the one I put down to break even. Now, that's $75 after all the little parlays I did. Not little parlays, but, you know, lunch money to rent money parlays. I needed to hit 225 to break even. So I was like, all right, I'll put 75 on Glover to break even. I got that at the good, respectable odds. Then when the fight went live and I saw him get the takedown, I rushed to my bank account to pull another $200 out, drop it down to win another 220. I got a little greedy on him. But all in all, I think I was like plus 100 when all was said and done. You know, when I pulled it out of my DraftKings back into my, I brought the troops home. I pulled it all out. I pulled at least 600 of that out. Put it out. I played a little blackjack. What am I going to say? But anyway, so all in all, it was a profitable weekend, though. That's the thing. I didn't lose it all in NFL the next day. I threw a couple parlays in on NFL. I did. But I didn't lose it all. I came on Monday in a profitable place. That's what we have to do when we're in the states that the sports betting is legal in the mobile phone. We got to be able to come out profitable. Give you one bullet in your gun. You got to put it right between the eyes, baby. And that's what I was able to do. So, and to do it with Glover winning made it all the sweeter. It really did. So other than that, we went 6 out of 6 triple P certified picks. This is a plus 377 parlay.
Hold on, Luke. There was a lot of slander of me going on in the Discord, talking about how I didn't bet on Glover. I knew I'd been fading Glover. I've been fading Glover on purpose. I need him to win because of our personal friendship. I don't want to put any hex on him. I've got dirty money. If dirty money's on Glover, it's not going to be right. The karma needs to stack up in his favor. I do everything for my friend, even if it means fading him, just so he will win a title.
I mean, Chael Sonnen does it to all his friends. He always picks the guy that he is, he picks against the guy that he's friends with. You know what I mean? Sometimes he does. Sometimes he doesn't.
Absolutely.
He puts the curse on his enemies.
I've never lost.
So,
not
all
even
right.
around.
So anyway, the Triple P boys back in session to break down last week's event. We went 6 for 6 with Triple P certified picks. I think that was the thing I was most proud of, even more so than Glover winning, was this 6 out of 6 with PPP certified picks. That's a parlay plus 377 if you're following along. And guys, I wouldn't be preaching the PPP certified picks, but let me tell you that the last 7 events, we are 87% with Triple P certified picks. Okay, 39 out of 45 last 7. 84 out of 117 year 2, 72% in year 2. The last 7 events, 6 out of 6, 3 out of 5, 5 out of 7, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, back-to-back 5 out of 5 weekends, a 9 out of 11, never forget, 6 out of 8. And even if I keep going back, it's like 4 out of 6, 4 out of 5, 6 out of 8. So I can keep crunching the numbers. It takes a while for me to get to a bad night here where we're under 50%. I think there might only be 1 event, 2 events under 50% in PPP certified picks out of we're talking 23 events almost at this point. So doing really, really, really well on Triple P certified picks. Give us a round of applause. That was good. Okay. So the other elephant in the room.
If in reality, if you have bet on the PPP certified picks all year and just hitting those 3 at the odds they were, I mean, this one wasn't as juicy as the other ones, but if you hit all 3 of those at the odds that they were, I think that over the entire year, you'd be up like quite a few units.
Why don't you crunch those numbers and get back to us? Get your statistician on that, and you don't need to think. We can just tell them if that's true or not. But, I mean, if you're making solo bets on all of these, you're talking – if you're telling me that you're not profitable, 84 wins out of 117 total bets placed, I mean – do the math on that. I think that's if you're just betting,
but at the same time, a lot of those guys are Kazmat Chimaev. So I feel like on the parlays is where you're profitable on them. But hitting 3 in 1 year is a lot, especially when it's 5, 5, 6, however many it was. You know what I mean?
Let's see, we went 100%. 1, 2, 3, 4 times we went 100%. And,
that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of times where it's 6 out of 7, 9 out of 11, 6 out of 8. Like, so if you're just dropping some of our more risky ones, there's a good chance you're still hitting perfect parlays, or not perfect parlays, but good parlays off that. So that's 1, 2, 3. Whatever.
If somebody comes up to you and asks for 6 locks in one night and you can rattle them off, like that's notable.
It's very notable.
Some people are hard pressed for 1 lock.
Amazing. Yeah. So those are just some basic stats about the podcast that we're putting on every single week, pretty consistently. You might say another pat on the back for that. This is year 2, and we've been doing sort of a supersized me-esque experiment, if you will, where we gamble every weekend and bet on every single fight, every single weekend in the pursuit of a perfect parlay. We've hit perfect parlays, but that's a story for another time. Right now, we're just going to recount the winnings that we've had and the winnings that, are yet to come. So we got to break down Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman 2. It's going to be an epic fight. But lastly, before we move on to the UFC 268 breakdown, I want to address the elephant in the room here. And that's referee Vladislav Kislov. Now, Dan, I know you probably got a hot take on this one. You watched all the fights this weekend, right? You
watched all the fights.
All right. Okay. As long as you watched all of them, just making sure. So we had a 29-26 on our hands, and this was the story of the morning, this Monday morning. And, I got to say, I think this ref got a real bad rap. I mean, I think that if you really examine the fight, and we're going to, I have some more screenshots. We're going to break down this fight. But if you really examine the fight, I don't think the ref was the worst offender here in terms of preserving the brain cells of a one Mr. St. Dennis. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I would ask you, who do you think it would fall on? St. Dennis himself or his coaches to throw in the towel earlier? Or who?
I mean, I think you just exemplified two of the barriers between, you know, his brain cells surviving and the referee. I think you just established.
Hey, listen. His coaches aren't there to his coaches aren't there to protect him. The ref is. The ref's job is to protect the fighter.
Well, if that's your stance, Alex, that's fine. And that was the stance of many others. But I'm going to take the unpopular stance real quick here. And I'm going to say that, you know, Alex, you were really upset. You thought that this guy was going to get robbed because of the point deduction. But a lot of people want to say that the refs had no control in there. But the referee stopped the fight. He told the boys no more nonsense. He took a point away. And this was after a knee to the groin. This was the second foul that occurred. Now, the one thing I'll say, and maybe this was a language barrier thing, but it seemed that there was a problem when he got poked in the eyes, and he said to the ref twice that I was able to watch I rewatched this fight, guys. And on the broadcast, he says to the ref, the ref's like, "You ready?" He's like, "I can't see." And the ref just says, "Okay, fight." And the fight begins. Now, I think that he wasn't looking for a way out right there and saying, like, "Stop the fight, I can't see." I think he was saying, like, it's been like 30 seconds, dude. Can I have the 5 minutes and maybe get a doctor in here to wipe the fucking eye? You know what I mean? I think that's what the fighter was trying to do. But he wasn't having any of it. He didn't bring a doctor in, and nor did he allow him just the proper time to, like, let his eye come back online. Because sometimes you just need that 5 minutes, you know? And you get 5 minutes for a reason. So it was weird. He wasn't giving him that 5 minutes. It was definitely a strange situation. But the fact that he did take a point away and establish control as a referee and told the boys, no more mess. No more mess. And this was after the horrible knee, the knee to the groin, right? But guys, this knee to the groin happened out of necessity because you have to think. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that Saint Denis took too many hits. Dan, do you think he took too many hits in that second round?
For his own health, yeah. But listen,
he should have stopped it.
I don't think it was the worst refereeing in the world ever. Has this ever happened that a ref was pulled off of a card based on?
Yes.
Dana White said in the press
conference.
First time
it ever happened?
He said in the press conference after the fact that it has happened.
Yes, it has happened. But here's the thing. The fight should have gotten called right there. We've seen much more egregious stoppages. Think back to Dominic Cruz versus Henry Cejudo. How much time did he get? How much time did Colby Covington get against Kamaru Usman? This guy is sitting against the fence getting hammered on for 3 minutes straight, and the ref doesn't stop it. And then did you see his face when the fight was over? He looked so mad. I've never seen a ref look so mad about a decision in my life. That guy had money on it. I guarantee it.
This is the face you're talking about, Alex?
Listen, that's not even the worst one he made.
He looks like Jocko Willink. Is that Jocko Willink on the secret CIA mission?
I think it might be.
But look, he did this. It wasn't weird. It was a very weird ceremony of the winner. Like, he raised his hand and he went, he like disappeared like a phantom. It was, look at this. He did this little thing, he said, and that's all she wrote. And just kind of, and then he did this little skip hop and just exited. I
love this comic strip like progression of pictures.
Well,
that guy is on somebody's payroll. I guarantee it. There's you guys
are talking about how he took too many shots. He didn't go down. That's my first thing. Second of all, we've seen guys take a lot more shots. Like, wait, let me finish. We've seen guys like Brian Ortega eat a lot more shots from Max Holloway. We saw Calvin Kattar eat a lot more shots from Max Holloway. We saw Frankie Edgar go on to have a draw decision against Gray Maynard, eating a lot more shots and getting rocked a lot worse than that. We saw Brock Lesnar come back to beat Shane Carwin, eating probably just as many, if not a lot more shots from a heavyweight. And at the end of the day, the guy comes back and arguably has a competitive third round. Look at this. This is with a minute left in the fight. A minute and 24 seconds right here. Minute 14, 10 seconds later. That's 10 seconds of control time against the cage. Then he has to get kneed in the dick to get him off him, because even Dos Santos knew he was coming back, dude. And the thing is, yeah, it was horrible to watch, but there's an illusion, guys. There's a Hollywood magic that goes on in the UFC octagon. He didn't fall to the ground. It was cosmetic damage for the most part. The shots that he was taking, yes, they seemed scary, but it's spooky season. It's Halloween month, you know. There's a lot of illusions around, guys. These Halloween decorations are getting really good. If you're walking by somebody's yard, it's not a zombie. It's not a monster. Just it's just plastic. You buy them at the
Benoit
store.
Saint Denis.
It's just plastic. You buy it from the store. So don't be too afraid these days, guys. Just you're watching cage fighting. It gets kind of bloody sometimes. Sometimes in this sport, people get punched in the head. You know what I mean? It's like one of the features of the sport. So don't be too scared. Like all the guys who were working at the table, they were getting really spooked and scared. And I think it's just because it's spooky season. It's Halloween. They were in a foreign land. They were just a little bit on edge. And it makes all the sense more. They weren't getting enough sleep. They were just seeing things. It was kind of like a hallucination because they just wanted something to talk about, I think. And I don't know. I'm not mad at the referee. And I'm even going to give him this banner for today at least.
Put up the other one. I do not.
He should not have lost his damn job, dude. Everybody's out here cancel culturing him.
Did he actually lose his job, or just that one night?
He didn't get to referee the Volkan Ozdemir fight.
I want to know if he got his full pay.
Volkan Ozdemir might have gotten to come back to win. Volkan might have won that fight if he was in there. He was supposed to be in there ref in that Volkan fight.
Oh my god, dude! Let's just shame Alex real quick for picking Volkan Ozdemir.
I did not pick Volkan.
Yes, you did.
No. We Triple B certified in Goliath. He was in the Triple B certified. Look, he was in the Triple B certified.
Volkan Ozdemir.
He's right there, minus 310. And these are all heavy favorites that we Triple B certified. But Lerone Murphy, I want to address that one too. Lerone Murphy had a rough first round. That first round of Lerone Murphy, oh boy. I was not a fan of Liverpool at that first round. I was like, they can't wrestle.
Absolute disgrace. Why would I want to be from Liverpool? It's a shithole.
That's what I was thinking. But then when he came back with that flying knee, oh my god. I was
fucking belted that, you know, Paul. That was scouse as fuck. That performance, is right.
Scouse, man.
I'm a scouser. We don't get knocked out. Hey, I take that all day.
Yeah, big up to men and them.
Dude, give my man his quid. They didn't give Lerone the Miracle Murphy any quid for that one. They didn't give him any galleons, any doubloons, nothing.
No?
Where's his 50K? He needs his bonus, man. That was a knockout of the night. That was a knockout of the night.
Uncle Dana said some other people are going to get paid out, but he definitely deserved knockout of the night, no doubt about it. But they don't do knockouts of the night anymore. They do performance bonuses.
Dana, get him his quid.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially because he was losing, too. The knockout is more impressive via the fact that he was losing the fight all the way up.
Flying knee and poor Makwan Americani is out. He's out like a light. He's laying down for like 10 minutes. I felt bad for the guy.
Dan, can we get the man a couple galleons, maybe a couple dragons?
A couple doubloons. Yeah, a little something for Lerone.
Anyway, a couple pounds.
Give him a ton. 2,000 pounds. Is that a lot? I don't know.
I don't know.
2,000 pounds?
The only currency I pay attention to is Bitcoin.
That'd be a ton.
No fiat. No fiat. Not financial advice. All right. Let's move on, I guess. Let's just move on. We had a great night. 6 out of 6 perfect parlay. 11 out of 14. 11 out of 14. 10 out of 14. Moving on up in the year. You see our stats. Dan's is probably a lot better than 61% with that kind of night. I got to recrunch his numbers. Dan, do this math for me. 152 out of 246.
152 out of 246.
63%.
That's your record.
63. Change it up. Put it on the board.
Change it up. Dan, 2 points. We all went up 1 point. Dan went up 2.
Yeah, boy.
Faster.
Yeah, that mental math, though. You saw that?
You did not.
Shit, boy.
Still at the bottom, though.
Is it actually that? Because I didn't double check your ass.
Oh, no. I thought you did it. I thought you double checked me. I didn't.
No. What was it again, Lukey? 152 out of how many?
150. No. 152 out of 246.
62%.
Oh.
62.
Damn, that's anticlimactic.
It's all right. I took a point up. There we go.
Damn.
But you're honest. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do you round it up?
Always. When it comes to something like this, we're talking about people's money here. Of course I'm going to be honest.
What was the decimal at, Danny?
0.617.
That's rounded up.
Of course it's rounded up.
Oh, so you're rounding up from 61.6.
It's
even more anticlimactic. I actually cracked into 66% this week. I'm 66.26% or something like that. So I'm rounding down now.
I'm 67 flat, so
and you're 61 still. Point.
No, I'm 0.617.
No,
It's not 0.5.
We talked about this last week.
Even if it was 0.5, you would still move up. 5, you go
you do
up.
round up. You do round up.
7.
I round down.
The
Again.
difference between an A plus and an A minus. You got an A minus right now. You got an A minus.
To the audience, just know that I'll
minus.
always round down. To the audience, I'll always round down for you guys.
All right, you're at 66.
Yeah, dude. The second.
No, I'm 67 flat.
All right. Congratulations, Glover Teixeira. We never doubted you. I put my balls on the line for you, Glover.
That fight was such a job.
I always fucking will. All right. Israel Adesanya is shaking in his boots. He's not going to be coming up there anytime soon. I'll tell you that much.
Wait, Dan, you think it was rigged?
Yeah. Did you see that choke? The choke that never was? The choke that wasn't even sunk in for even a half a second, and he just immediately tapping?
Listen, there's a lot of ways you can break a man, all right? And he broke him mentally. He wanted it so bad, and he tapped that quick. I mean, doesn't matter. He still lost. He tapped that. That's even worse for Glover.
Well, that's what the new narrative is, I guess.
No,
I guess the UFC is super pumped.
He didn't want any more of the fight, so he lost. He chose the aesthetic that he wanted to lose under. Does that make sense?
Getting choked out? That doesn't sound like a
good he said, I can either tap out right here or this behemoth can knock my teeth out like he did Anthony Smith.
Listen, I picked him. I didn't flip-flop either. I originally picked him, so I was down with it. But, hey, I guess I picked out a job there. Good on my end, huh?
You know what? If you picked Glover, you really should have hit the perfect parlay going 10 out of 14 because you could have went, 12 out of 14. You could have been really close. You could have left, you could have hit the triple P.
My boy Benoit got screwed. I mean, we already went over that one, but he got screwed, man.
I forgot you picked him.
That's what happens when you watch. That's what happens when you watch the fights a day later.
I did.
Nah, I didn't watch it a day later. I watched it within the same 24-hour period, actually.
In a random parlay that I made, I did throw him by submission in there with a bunch of other conservative picks just to get like the plus 650 amongst like a sea of like really like locks, and that was like one of the only ones that lost on that one. I was like, but if that had happened, there was a couple opportunities I felt. I clearly felt the tap.
Excellent.
All right. And when I thought it was going to be a draw, I was like, wait, with the point deduction, maybe they give him round 1 and maybe round 3, 10-8 round 2, point deduction. I don't know. Could be a draw.
My boy got robbed.
There's a case to be made. All right, let's go through. What do you think? Should we start at the top for this one? It's Madison Square Garden. There's good fights all the way down. Let's be honest. Should we start at the top or should we start at the bottom? We got a lot. We got 14 fights to break down. We kind of got to be efficient here with our time, boys. So what do you think?
Let's hit it from the top.
Sure, top.
Hit it from the top. All right, Alex, you did the best last week, so we're going to give you first take on this one. I'm going to put you solo for a bit. Go ahead and give the people your thoughts on Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman 2, taking place at the Mecca of all Meccas, where Alex and I have been, where Dan and I have been, where we've seen the legends such as Fedor Emelianenko and Nate Diaz, there with Trump, there with The Rock, there with all of the who's who of Madison Square Garden, baby. So let's go back to Madison Square Garden this time. Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman 2. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be pretty simple for me. I actually rewatched the fight today just to freshen up, just see if my memories serve me correctly. And that it did. I thought Colby Covington went out there and he won 3 rounds out of 4 before the stoppage. I think Colby Covington's going to go out there and do it again. He's going to go out there and win this time. He's going to finish him. Mark, not so good, dude. That was a poor stoppage. You want to talk about Saint Benoit and how much rope he was given during his fight. Give Colby Covington some of that rope, please. Please. He called the fight in less than 2 seconds. It was terrible. And all back of the head strikes, too. A fake groin strike, a fake eye poke. It was a bunch of hoopla. Mark Goddard sucks. Colby Covington's going to go out there. He's going to get it done just like he deserved to do the first time. And, yeah, it's plain and simple. Colby Covington all the way.
Dan, you are up. What is your rebuttal to that, my friend?
I'm going to say I agree with the fact that it was a bad stoppage, bad calls, right? A lot of fake groin strikes, fake eye pokes, and all the works. However, when you knock a man's jaw out of place, as I have done many times with this fist right here, you know that the second time you face the same man, it's going to be twice, maybe 3 times as easy. You know, we could look at the math here. I don't have the exact number, but rematches typically go to the guy who won it the first time, no matter how it came about, referees, ill play or otherwise. So I'm going to go with Kamaru Usman. And this has a lot of historic implications, to be honest. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was on his second lap of the division after he beats Colby. And listen, I like Colby. I think he's super entertaining, and I kind of hope he wins as a fan. Either way, I think it's a treat for us with this welterweight division as hot as it is. I think Usman's got the mojo, knowing that he got the knockout last time, regardless of how it came about. When that fist does the talking, it typically talks twice. I'm taking Usman.
Wow. Well, I will be the tiebreaker here. Neutral will be certification in the main event, and let's talk through it, guys. Because Alex just said he watched the fight. I did too. I'm in my basement. We have a nice little workout room. We're hitting the bag. You know, I got the TV set up down there now. I throw on some YouTube videos, Peter Yan highlights. I'm just getting excited. You know, it's Friday night. I'm getting excited for the next day. And what comes on but Usman versus Covington 1 for free. Now, this is a nice long video, so I'm like, oh, let this play while I work out. This would be great little, like, you know, motivation to have on in the background. Guys, by 30 seconds, I'm watching the whole fight. I'm standing up in my basement. There's no chair. There are chairs, but I'm glued to the screen. I got one arm on the punching bag. I'm staring at the screen, locked in for 25 minutes of war. One thing I want to point out. I want to make sure I point this out. John Anik says in round 5, Covington leads on strikes 130 to 116. That was with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in round number 5, okay, before the knockdown. So I give rewatching the fight round 1 to Colby all day and all night, no argument. Round 1 to Colby Covington. Round 2, Colby Covington. Round 3, that's the round where the alleged jaw break happens, where they slow it down, they show it on the big screen. Joe Rogan and team are commenting on it. Colby says in the corner twice to his heroic coach, Conan Silveira, who just tells him, I need 10 fucking minutes out of you, motivates him, gets him off that stool. Nobody's talking about that as far as Aspen Ladd shit goes. She had all her fucking ailment, all her ligaments and bones intact. So he got him off the stool with his words. Colby goes out there in round fucking 4 and wins the round with a broken fucking jaw. Wins the round with a broken jaw. Round 5. It plays out the way it plays out. I don't care how you want to slice it. He got dropped twice. Under kickboxing rules, you stop the fight, somebody gets dropped twice, especially when you calculate all that damage, whatever. If Mark Goddard wanted, and I've been somebody who has been in the camp of Mark Goddard, clearly, you know, Trump derangement syndrome, hated Colby Covington's character so much that he just wanted to, like, I've given it a nod. I've said, all right, you know, you make a decent point. However, I will, after rewatching the fight, tip of the hat to Mark Goddard. Tip of the hat. I apologize and I rescind my former statements. Mark Goddard's a great ref. He had every opportunity to deduct points and involve himself in that fight. He never did. Okay? The eye poke, Alex, was legitimate. I rewatched the fight. Poke Usman in the eye. That did happen. The nut shot, no. But it kind of looked like it grazed. It didn't, but it looked like it did. And if you're a ref, Usman sold it. He sold it. He got one. All right, no worries. So that's the second foul. We saw a ref, an incompetent ref, as you guys say, take a point away after 2 fouls. And we saw a fucking great ref in Jason Herzog take a point from Thiago Santos in the main event of a number 1 contenders fight after 1 eye poke. The fact that Mark Goddard didn't deduct a point when it was such a close fight, he could have controlled the fight if he wanted to. More so than that stoppage, he could have controlled the fight by just taking a point. He didn't. 10-8 round Usman. There was 1 minute left in that fight when Mark Goddard stopped it. That's what's so hard to swallow about it. Covington was technically in on a takedown. When he was being instructed to cover up, he did respond and did move his head and was covering up and was seeking more areas of protection. He was intelligently defending himself. He was providing some sort of offense and responding to the ref's request. In the heat of the moment, the chaos of the moment, the pinnacle of the moment, Mark Goddard's a human. He did a human thing. He stopped a fight. We all know what happened, but I'm only kind of robbed of the moment where that fight was ready to be ruled 47-47 a draw, because Usman would have won round 5, 10-8 for the double knockdown, he would have won round 3, and that fight would have been a 10-8 round for Usman and a 47-47 draw. The fight is rightfully Colby popped right up, guys. Let's be real. He popped right up. He said, "I'm so fucking pissed off right now." He is pissed. The steam is coming out of his ears. If Usman couldn't get him out of there with the ailment that he had that night with his jaw, he's not going to have a good time with him this time. Colby is going to win. The money is on Colby. The value is on Colby. Guys, I'm telling you, go rewatch it. Tell me you don't think Colby's a dog with a chance. My pick is Colby. He's going to be at the top of all my parlays this week. Double underdog headliner weekends for the UFC.
Woo. He's coming in hot at a plus 200 some odd price tag. So the value, like you said, is definitely there. I hear you on that. Now, you don't think you do think he actually poked Usman in the eye? I thought there was a thing where he covered up the wrong eye, faking it. Is that not a thing?
I mean, listen, I watched the whole fight, and when the action was stopped for the second time after the nut shot, they showed the replay, and his finger kind of swept his eye a little bit.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
At that point, all Goddard says to Colby, he goes, "Hey," he goes, and he even gave him kind of a very like reassuring look, like, "I'm not going to take a point away. Just don't fucking disrespect me right here. I know you're mad."
That is good refereeship right there.
And he said, and he brought him, but he said, "I know, guys, it's a fight. I know it's chaotic, but like," and he was a good ref. I'm telling you, I had a lot of respect for him after I finished watching the fight. And
cool.
You know, but he did kind of rob us of history of an epic draw. Possibly an immediate rematch for Colby, because a draw is unarguable. You have to do the rematch. So yeah, you know that there was a minute left in that fight. You know,
hey, if Colby wins, it's definitely going to be a trilogy fight, epic rematch, and that right there. So
for sure,
it's going to be big.
All right, co-main event: Rose Namajunas taking on Weili Zhang. And last time she said "better red than dead." I don't think many. I hope that she still has the fire in her. I mean, at the end of the day, she's a head case like Nick Diaz. Rose could come out there and be like, "I had it coming. Karma. I already beat him up once. This is my up and comings." But didn't happen with Joanna, a much better fighter than Weili. I think she handled her twice in a row. Give her Weili twice in a row. Let's see what happens. I'm going with Rose. It's a pick'em. I don't know why she knocked her out in the first round last time. What's insanity? Repeating the same thing, expecting different results, right? Why are we expecting anything different? Run it back, same outcome, baby. Rose is going to be one of Trevor Whitman's apprentice that will get it done tonight. The pick is Rose.
Yeah, I'll pick up from there. I'm also going to go with Rose. Same kind of reason as last time, right? You know, you knock someone out the first time. I think there's a better percent chance, even than just a normal decision win, that you're going to have a similar result, at the very least, a win by decision. And stylistically, I think that although Weili is, you know, she's super explosive, very athletic, she's a little bit plotty in her striking, whereas Rose is technical. She sets traps. I think that works out to a huge advantage for her. And also the grappling is there as well. So although a little bit undermined with the athleticism and the strength, I think that the real things that are going to count in this fight is the technicality and just the ring IQ setting these traps that are going to win her the fight. So give me Rose as well. Alex, what do you got?
And Alex, before you PPP certified or not, I want to point out that Weili is training with Henry Cejudo in camp, and she is working her wrestling. So it seems like her plan is to go in there and grapple, use her physicality, push Rose against the fence, hold her there. Could it work? I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Alex?
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, that's the real one thing that worries me about Weili this fight. I don't think it's going to – Rose definitely caught her in the last matchup. I don't know if she's going to be able to catch her again. Like, that's kind of an anomaly. I feel like it's going to be similar to the Joanna second fight with Joanna where, you know, it was kind of a war. I got to go with my heart here. I can't – I'd rather be dead than red, baby. Rose Namajunas.
Certified.
And, you know, I just want to point out, I think both Henry Cejudo's new students are going to get smashed. I think that Figueiredo is going to get smashed for the third time by Brandon Moreno, and I think Weili is going to get sent back in a second time, and they're both going to go, why the hell are we training with this retired guy?
I don't know if Figueiredo was working with them. That's interesting.
Sure. Yeah, he is. He's working with both of them, and there's plenty of videos on Instagram if you guys want to go check them out.
Why would I ever talk to somebody who licks toads?
I don't know.
Like
Toes?
What?
Oh, toads. Oh, okay.
Toads.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Okay, so next we got a basically people's main event here. We got Michael Chandler taking on Justin Gaethje. The return of Justin Gaethje. He has not competed since he's lost to Khabib it was a year ago, guys. It was last October. So Justin coming in against Michael Chandler, very active recently, since hit the ground running since coming into the UFC. Was able to beat Dan Hooker first round back January at the beginning of this year. Then he came in for the title hot in May. Hey, we saw what happened. He won one round. He lost another one. There was 2 rounds of that fight. I'd love to see a third. Anyway, in the meantime, we got Gaethje. Alex, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I think Chandler is the more complete fighter, probably the better wrestler, for sure. He wrestled D1 at Mizzou, so he's a bad boy. The one thing that is really worrying me, I love the activity, I love this, I love that. The guy, he's got to weak legs. His legs, he cannot handle a leg kick. Justin Gaethje, he slams legs constantly. It might open up a takedown for Chandler, but honestly, Chandler hasn't really been taking guys down as of late. He's kind of just been slugging. So, yeah, that gives me a lot of concern here. I want to take Chandler. I like Chandler a lot. Justin Gaethje is the younger fighter. I think the leg kicks are going to make a huge difference in this one. I'm going with Gaethje here.
Wow. Dan, as somebody who saw live Michael Chandler versus Brent Primus, why don't you take us through how that was and what your pick's going to be?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, and I saw it with you, my friend, Madison Square Garden. Wow, that's the first time that I actually pieced those two things together. Not that, Chandler had his leg broken. I knew that going into this fight and, processed that. But in the same place, that athletes do have that psychological thing as far as like the arenas and the stadiums that they perform in. So that could dwell pretty heavy on him, I do believe. Alex, you took a lot of the words out of my mouth as well. When you talk about how Chandler hasn't gone to the wrestling as of late. So when it goes to a striking match with this Justin Gaethje that's seemingly a little bit more calculated under Trevor Whitman, I think I'm going to have to go with Gaethje here. And I think the leg kicks will play a big role. And even outside of that, I think that Gaethje's really coming into his own just in the stand-up for boxing's sake. So give me Gaethje in this one. And no prop on this, just a straight money line for now.
Well, listen, I mean, you're talking about two guys who, when they lose, they get finished, So Justin Gaethje has literally never gone to a decision in the UFC. I think Michael Chandler, obviously, he's never gone to a decision in the UFC, but I think in all of his losses, he's also gotten finished. So it's
no. He lost his decision.
In the vast majority.
This is also one of his only 3-round fights too. Normally, he's always headlining. So in 3 rounds, it might go to decision.
His last 2 fights didn't go 3 rounds combined, though. So
true.
So here's the thing, guys. I like what you guys both said. I'm really taken aback and surprised. I'm going with Michael Chandler here. I'm taking the dog, and I think that activity is going to be the name of the game here. I think Gaethje's going to come in a little bit flat. I think that his the focus has been on Usman and Rose. They've both been fighting and on the same card. Masvidal versus Usman, Rose versus Weili. That was the first one. That was the same card. So they're used to this flow. Gaethje's gonna I feel like he's approaching everything from a lack. I feel like he's gonna get a lack of attention because his fight's not as important as the 2 above him. I feel like he's gonna feel like he hasn't done enough because he hasn't been active. Everything's just gonna be a little bit brighter, a little bit weirder, a little bit off, right? He's going to Fight Island too, right? This is Fight Island? No, it's Madison Square Garden.
No, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, sorry. It's Madison Square. I was going to say, because Chandler's been there a couple times, actually. Competed there and went there as the backup fighter. So, bottom line, I really like Chandler in this because he's the type of guy to go away from that knockout loss against Vera, plan like a beast. Watch that fight 1,000 times, get super cerebral about it, get real Dominic Cruz, big brain about it, and come in here smarter, quicker, faster, more loose. I think that it's the same kind of thing as I saw with Gian versus Sandhagen, right? And Gaethje actually trains with Sandhagen. But with Gaethje against a guy like Ferguson, Gaethje's the tighter guy. But with Gaethje against a guy like Chandler, Chandler's a little bit sharper, a little bit tighter. And I think that you got to go with the guy who's the sharper sword. That was what I saw with Gian. That's what I see with Chandler. He's the sharper sword in there. He's a couple of steps ahead, a little bit faster, a little bit better wrestler, and a lot more to lose here. Gaethje has every reason to lose here. Every reason. Coming off a loss, Super Bowl hangover, hasn't fought, hasn't been active, definitely drank his sorrows away. And let me just say this. Justin Gaethje has death before dishonor tattooed on his chest and said before the fight with Khabib that he'd go out before tapping, proceeds to tap once, the ref doesn't notice it, taps again. Finally, the ref stops it after he's choked to sleep after tapping twice in front of his parents with Khabib's nuts on his face, literally. It's the worst way to go. He went out like that. That was the last time he went out. Got to think he was hitting the bottle, drinking that away. And I can't forgive that.
That's only a sane man would.
It doesn't get more dishonorable. He dishonored the whole country. Remember, he was making it about America. I'm going to go and be American representative, American wrestling versus Dagestani wrestling. He did not represent American wrestling well, grappling well. I thought he got that absolutely cut through on the ground. He got cut through like a white belt. It was horrible. It calls Khabib's whole record into question because it's like, well, wait, the whole reason we were going to give you credit for beating Gaethje was under the suspicion that he was going to be able to match you with the wrestling. He did not. We need to get you in there with fucking Ben Askren or something. I don't even know, but something needs to happen because he didn't even fucking compete. He didn't even compete. So that is and I picked Gaethje as a dog against Khabib. So that there's
a lot of psychology going into this one.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Billy Quarantillo versus Shane Burgos. Great fight. I mean, two guys who got us through the pandemic. Two guys who are super exciting. This is a fighter's fight. This is a matchmaker's fight. This is a real good one. Dan, you got any hot takes on this one? I know Billy Quarantillo is your boy.
Love Billy Q. Also love Shane Burgos, though, man. I mean, his last performance against Edson Barboza, I believe. I remember watching that with you, both of you guys, actually. Luke, this was the kiss of death for you. You had you had Burgos actually on this one. And so when he went down with that, kind of delayed response, falling back, quite disappointing to say the least. Wish we had a little bit of video footage on that one. Maybe not.
I faded Barboza to my own undoing a few times now against younger fighters, against Marquand Amirkhani, against I faded Aldo a couple times in there. We'll talk later about Marlon Vera. I mean, a couple times where going against the older guy just because I've seen him a lot has not done me well. So
yeah. So I'll say this: I think that Shane Burgos is just slightly a bit better than Billy Q at what they both do, which is cardiovascular, a lot of volume, a lot of pressure. Right? I think Shane Burgos is just a little bit better at that, a little bit more efficient, but he's also taken a crap ton more damage. So that gives me a little bit of cause to pause. I'm gonna go with Shane Burgos. I'm just going to bank on the fact that Billy Q doesn't have all that much knockout power. So I think Burgos is going to be able to survive these shots and just add a little bit more volume than Billy Q here. The wrestling should nullify itself. I think they're also pretty well matched there. So give me Shane Burgos in a tight decision they're going to have to sweat out till the very end.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to go with Billy Q here. This is a very tough fight to pick, in my opinion. I think it's probably going to end up on the scorecards. I think Billy Q is a thicker guy. He'll be able to push the pace, determine where the fight takes place, whether it's against the cage, if he's in the middle. I think he'll have the ringmanship in the fight. So I'm going with Billy Q here, but this is a very tough fight to call, and both couple of fan favorites.
Very tough fight to call indeed. You got to take into account Billy Q's last performance. Gabriel Benitez, he's no joke. Billy Q came in there, won a decision. Technical fight against a technical fighter. Looked really good. Meanwhile,
he finished him. He finished Gabriel Benitez.
Yeah, he did in the third round. That's right. Now,
it looked good.
In what was Burgos' coming out party, he gets upset by Barboza, at least on my end. I don't know if he was the favorite going into that or not, but regardless, he gets beat by Barboza in what is kind of like his coming out party, his opportunity, right, to shine in his first kind of like big fight. Coming back a little too soon for me, guys. Billy's not going to go away, and some of his punches are going to land. And can Burgos take him and keep coming anymore. I mean, that was a really weird knockout that he got against Barbosa. I think Billy Q's going to land. It's going to be up to Burgos to take it. I'm not falling into the Burgos trap. He's a big favorite here, coming off a knockout that soon. And Billy has the activity advantage. Billy just fought in July. Burgos got knocked out in May. So it's like, yeah, Billy's a couple months ahead of you and had a positive outcome, whereas you got knocked out and are coming back too soon. It's that Venn diagram. It's the Venn diagram. Billy Q's overlapping. The value's on him. He's the dog. It's a complete trap on Burgos. I'm going Billy Q.
All right. Interesting. Close match. Close
fight. I got Burgos on one parlay already that I already made, but I got Billy Q on a lot of them.
I hear you. Can't argue that.
I watch Billy Q on Instagram. He's training hard. All right. Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet and to the point. I went against Jose Aldo picking Marlon Vera, and it did not do me well. Vera really disappointed. I do not often give guys a second opportunity like this. I'm going with Marlon Vera. Marlon, this is your second and last chance. I don't often award these, but you've earned it. Marlon Vera is the pick. I know he's training hard. Jason Perillo, he's going to knock Frankie Edgar out. Marlon Vera by finish, maybe even late. Don't take the under. It might happen late, but I think Marlon Vera goes in there. Frankie Edgar's got knocked out a lot recently, especially. He's been in a lot of wars. This should be his swan song. Frankie should not compete anymore.
Yeah, Marlon Vera here all the way. I'm gonna hammer this. I'm gonna put a lot of money on Marlon Vera. I think he's probably the best pick on the card. You're getting him at almost even odds here. Only a slight dog, -195. I think you gotta hammer that. Yeah, Marlon Vera, but it is tough because he is a guy who accepts guard a lot. So I am worried about that, but I don't think he lets Frankie Edgar even get close to him to do that.
Yeah, that's my big thing right there. Accepting guard, and I hope Frankie's going for the takedown, has that in his mind instead of just going for the stand up here, which he often does as of late, to his own detriment. Dude, go back to the basics, man. Go for the wrestling. Go for the control time. You're in Madison Square Garden. You're in your home city, state, region, or whatever. Just get the win. You're almost done with your career. Just get the win. It doesn't have to be, Gray Maynard fight. It doesn't have to be the best fight of all time. Just get the win. I think that's going to be his mentality. I think he even knows that his time is done. He's not chasing after a title, that's for sure. Coming out from a knockout loss, I think he's going to play it safe and possibly take this to the mat, hopefully, at least a couple times here, enough to get the win. So I'm going with Frankie Edgar. I think you're going to get some good value on that. And I think that's my first underdog of the night.
Well, let me tell you this, man. Frankie Edgar in Madison Square Garden. Let's think. Chris Weidman got kneed in the head by Yoel Romero in Madison Square Garden. I mean, Madison Square Garden isn't always kind to their darlings. There's going to be a lot of darlings on the card, a lot of love to go around. So, we got Gian Vellante later. We got Iaquinta. We got Frankie Edgar. We got a lot of hometown boys on this card. So who's going to succeed and who will Lady Liberty bless? You got to remember, a lot of friends chirping you to get tickets to these fights. A lot of people bothering you. We all have families. You have a North Jersey family, Dan. How many of them would be in your ear if you were doing anything worth notable in Madison Square Garden? They would be all over your ass. They'd be trying to come, get tickets. Your boys from high school would be trying to get tickets.
Well, don't worry. I'm not going to pick Gian Vellante, but I hear what you're saying.
All right. Neutral PPP certification for Marlon Chito Vera. And Alex and I are not riding with Jersey here. And it's North Jersey. We're South Jersey boys. We don't necessarily always have to ride up north. I'm a BJ Penn fan. I'm a BJ Penn truther. You know what I mean? I'm not out here. It's not always about the Jersey thing.
Jersey thing. What does that mean? You just don't have.
So, all right, let's move on. We got Andreas Michailidis versus Alex Pereira. So we got a newcomer in here, but he's not inexperienced in combat. This man knocked Israel Adesanya clean out. This is that man. This is Alex Pereira. He fought him in kickboxing. He's 3-1 in the in MMA, making his UFC debut, coming in there against Andreas Michailidis. And he's headlined the LFA. Alex Pereira got a first-round knockout back in 2020. Did a kickboxing bout in 2021 earlier this year, and then went back and did another one last September, lost that one. That's kickboxing. Other than that, his only loss in MMA is his first ever fight back in 2015. He got rear naked choked. Got to think he's a different guy 7 years later. I'm going with Pereira here. He's 34, but come on, man. This is the setup of all setups. We got Michailidis, a guy who's pretty predictable. We know how he's going to come in. We know how he's going to fight. He got beat by Modestas Bukauskas. It was a weird fight, but we know he's going to come in there to brawl. He's not going to play it safe. I think it's going to be his undoing. He's 33 himself. The ages match up. To me, I'm just going off a pure marketing machine, thinking like, all right, they want to set something up with like this guy because he's beaten Israel Adesanya. They don't want him to have a bad time. That makes their champ look bad, right? So I'm not saying, listen, anything can happen in there. Andreas Michailidis is good. He beat KB Bilar in his last fight. He's good. I'm going with Pereira here. You're going to pay a premium for him because the fix is in, everybody thinks, so they're going to be betting him. But I'm taking him. I think he wins here.
I'm going to go with the unpopular pick here. I am very hesitant to pick Pereira because you look back at his career, the last guy he fought was a bit of a knockout artist himself, Thomas Powell. That guy, at the time of the fight, I think he went to 4-4 on that fight. Now he's 5-5. So that's a middle of the tier fighter. The other guy he beat, Marcelo Cruz, 10-10. And we got another guy here. Oh, the guy he lost to by rear naked choke, 11-3. Pretty decent. But other than that, Marcus Vincinius right here, 11-5. So all these guys here, they don't necessarily have the best records. I think these are fighters that are more oriented to his style. I think I've watched some of Andreas Michailidis' fights before he was in the UFC, and he had some pretty decent grappling. I think that he might be able to get Alex Pereira down. You got to think this guy just had a kickboxing bout 2 months ago. So he hasn't really been giving his hardest. Yeah. Yes, but he hasn't been giving his hardest training in MMA. You got to think if this guy takes him down, Pereira's in a world of hurt. I'm not going to take a brand new guy who's only had 4 UFC fights, or not UFC fights, MMA fights in his whole career over like as a minus 255 favorite. That's just not happening. So I'm going with Michailidis here.
The price tag is pretty steep. I'll give that to you. But overall, I'm gonna roll with Alex Pereira here. What we see is a guy who lost to I forget his name now. Modestas Bukauskas, who's no longer in the UFC. And I am not all that impressed with KB Bilar at all. So for that to be his lone UFC win, again, only 2 fights here, but haven't really seen all that much. And you have to believe that the UFC is excited about this guy, bringing him in, giving him a pretty advantageous matchup in his first UFC bout here. So I'm going to take the supremely talented kickboxer here. The ground game does bother me a little bit, but at the same time, we're not dealing with a guy who has ultimate grappling credentials. So give me Alex Pereira. Price tag a little high, but sometimes you got to eat it. So,
and I'll say this, and then you can take us into the next one, Dan. It's Iaquinta versus Green. I'll say this: Pereira, Alex, he has 17 kickboxing fights. That's as many MMA fights as Michailidis has, and then he has 4 MMA fights on top of that. So he's the more experienced guy. He's headlined cards. He's been there, done that. I think this should be his fight, but I appreciate you for taking the dog and sticking it out for the MMA fighter who.
Yeah, but last time I took
Michailidis clearly has Michelob Blake clearly has.
But here's the thing, Lukey. Here's the thing, and we're still only panned on Bittman here. The last time I took a guy who was this hot kickboxing prospect who had even fought in Bellator, he got murked, and he got knocked out in the first round because he was so worried about the takedown.
Name him.
Oh, man, I forget. I don't know. I have no idea. But
we come up with that one.
But yeah, so that's where I am so concerned here. I don't want to come up. I don't want to take this boring, bland pick. Yeah, this guy knocked out Israel Adesanya, but he wasn't worried about any takedowns. You know what I mean? Takedowns make a huge difference in a fight. We've seen it many times where far lesser strikers have knocked out strikers just because of the threat of the takedown. I think the takedown will do a lot of work here. I just don't feel confident betting on Alex. It has nothing to do with faith in Michailidis.
All right. Well, 1 for Michelob Light, 2 for Alex Bahia. Dan, take us through Green versus Iaquinta.
Yeah, so we have hometown boy Al Iaquinta against Bobby Green. Kind of a tough matchup.
Where is your hometown?
Huh?
Where's your hometown?
I'm saying Al Iaquinta, hometown boy. He's a New Yorker. He's from Long Island. He's fighting in New York City.
So which one are you from? Philly, New Jersey, Long Island? Where are you from, buddy?
How did this come to me? I'm talking about
I don't know. I'm bringing up the questions
here.
I'm bringing up the questions that everybody wants to know.
Don't dox him.
I hear.
No, you can dox me. I live in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's a suburb of Philly.
I hear the people chirping in the Discord. You're from everywhere.
You're
from Poland.
He's a citizen of the world. He's an international man of mystery.
You're from Poland. You're from New York. You're from
Not
New
much
Jersey.
of a mystery, though. I put it out there.
And hey, I'm from New Jersey. I'm from, you guys that, like I rep New Jersey, but I was in New York for a large portion of this podcast. Most of this podcast, I was in New York with the island of Manhattan. Then I went to the island of Hawaii for another chunk of the podcast. So you can call me a regular island boy, baby. I'm just an island boy trying to make it. Island hopping over here. And hey, guess what? Spoiler alert, me and Alex were set to go to Montreal before the pandemic. That would have been another island, the Isle of Montreal. I would have been a regular island hopper. But anyway.
Yeah. I affiliate with the great city of Philadelphia, okay, if we want to put this to rest here. But I also have other sub-affiliations, based off of your hometown, where you went to college, these kind of things that everyone understands except for Alex, apparently. But, we'll move on from that. I'm going to say that Bobby Green is probably going to win this fight, although the price tag is a little bit too high, a little rich for my blood. Mine's $210 for a Bobby Green fight. We know that this guy's a little bit boneheaded in there. Doesn't always come in with the best ring IQ, the best plan of attack. Al Iaquinta is going to have a little something to prove fighting in his hometown. I'm sure he wouldn't disagree with that statement, fighting in New York City, Madison Square Garden. But to be honest, save from a somewhat decent Khabib performance, I'm not all that impressed with Al Iaquinta. Doesn't seem to have the finishing power. Doesn't seem to have the moxie that you're going to need to beat someone the likes of Bobby Green if he shows up on his A game. So that's what I'm banking on. I'm looking to see a Bobby Green at full tilt. He was not that in his last fight. That's kind of why I'm banking on it for this fight. I'm banking on a Bobby Green that's going to come here in his A game. And if that is the case, I think he has the stuff to beat Al Iaquinta. It's going to be as simple as that for me. It can be Bobby Green at minus 210 as of now.
All right. I'm also going to go with Bobby Green, but I thought you were going with Al Iaquinta there, the way you were flossing and raving about him there for a couple minutes. Al Iaquinta's biggest win is a loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and in his last fight he lost to Dan Hooker. If he can't take down that what do they call it in New Zealand? I don't know. If he can't take him down, I don't know what to do. Dan Hooker beats you, you got problems. After seeing what the goose egg he laid up last weekend.
You picked him.
And I'm mad.
Hey, listen, I at least thought Dan could take it over 2.5. You know what I mean? He could take it over 2.2.
I thought he was tough for sure. But, he lost to Donald Cerrone. His biggest wins are Kevin Lee, Jorge Masvidal, which he didn't win that fight. Diego Sanchez.
Two close fights.
Diego Sanchez, Kevin Lee twice, and Joe Lozon. So Ross Pearson, and I have to go all the way back to 2014, 2015. So I'm not betting on a guy whose best win is a loss. I'm going with Bobby Green here.
Make it a PPP certified pick. We're going with Bobby Green. You guys probably are surprised because I'm a big Al Iaquinta fan. I like watching his interviews. I like his mentality. I like, his real estate. All of the things he does I think are cool. Here's the thing, though. He's not in it 100% like Bobby Green is. Bobby Green was competing all throughout the pandemic, staying active. That's going to be the story here. And not only that, Bobby Green's proved to us he can compete with the best of them. Rafael Fiziev playing his game. He could have went for some takedowns against Fiziev. He was mixing it up. Bobby Green is the best Philly shell, man. If judges had an eye for it, these are supposed to be boxing judges, yet they don't appreciate a Floyd Mayweather style like Bobby Green's where, granted, he was in Texas with that robbery, but he was slipping, he was moving, he was doing really great things. And his taunting or whatever is like a Diaz thing. It's like a Prince Nassim thing. It's like a trying to bait you in. And Anderson Silva does it. Everybody thinks it's cool. Bobby Green does it. For some reason, judges seem to have a problem with it. Or what else do you want me to say? I mean, the technique is there. They have to be grading him negatively in some way, and it has to be maybe that he makes it seem like he's getting hit, right? Like a guy will land something that smacks, and he'll go, nope, you didn't. And the judge is like, oh, we're told to believe when you do that, that means you got hit. So they do that. But Bobby Green, I think, is just gonna have range dominance. He's gonna have activity dominance. He's gonna piece Al up. He's gonna make it look easy. Al's going to eat so many jabs, just like he did against Cerrone, except this time they're going to come from punches. He might eat some knees. Al shells up, too. Al really shells up. Yeah, I think Al's going to go down here. He's also coming off some bad surgeries. He says he's good, but I think this is just a good opportunity to make some money and compete at Madison Square Garden. He's taking it. Bad stylistic matchup. I'm sure as a competitor, it gets his fire going, but Bobby Green has shown us too much recently. He's been done so well. He's been so active. PPP Certified Bobby Green.
Beautiful.
All right, next we got Phil Hawes taking on Chris Curtis. Now, this is one where instantly I wanted to be like Phil Hawes, especially when he was fighting draw and win. I've been waiting to pick Phil Hawes. I really think he's good. Granted, I had Imavov in that fight, and I was happy to see Imavov almost finish him in the third round there. And that seems to be Phil Hawes' MO. He almost gets finished in like almost all the third rounds that I've seen him fight. But he's a beast, out of Jersey, trained with John Jones. Not enough good things can be said about Megatron Phil Hawes, but I'm leaning towards the action man to get the upset here. Chris Curtis, 26-8, plenty of experience to his name. I mean, he trains with Sean Strickland. I think this is his time to shine, and he's going to seize the moment. Phil Hawes didn't want to fight him for one reason after Deron Wynn pulled out. Why does he want to fight him now? Stakes are higher, paying more money in taxes in New York City, baby. So I think Chris Curtis comes in with everything to gain, nothing to lose, maybe even knocks Phil Hawes out. We've seen him wobble in almost all of his fights. I think Chris Curtis could surprise a lot of people. Could be a big upset play. I want to pick Phil Hawes, but damn, give me the underdog, 270 Chris Curtis.
Yeah, I've been wobbling on this one back and forth for a while now. What we're going to see here is that Chris Curtis is going to be the smaller fighter in comparison to Phil Hawes. I believe Phil Hawes has fought at a higher weight class, that 170 to 85 jump, which is pretty legit there. A little bit taller, a little bit of a longer reach here. But like you said, Luke, we have seen Phil Hawes get, wobbled in just about all of his fights here. Whereas Chris Curtis, is coming off of, I think, like 4 straight finishes, something like that. Really doesn't bode well for Hawes. Both guys are explosive athletes. I think the value is definitely on Curtis. So I'm probably going to go there, but it's purely a value pick. This is really one of those fights, and I mean, this whole card is chock full of them where it could really go either way. I'm going to go with the guy that, I think has a little bit better durability and at the same rate, really explosive knockout power. So I'm all with you on this one. Give me the value pick with Curtis.
And you tuck him lower down on the parlays. You tuck him real low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree here. I'm going with Phil Hawes. I love Phil Hawes. I love everything he does. I think he's a great fighter, and I think he gets this one done. Chris Curtis, he's older. And he does a lot of fights, but I think Phil Hawes gets it done. I hope that cardio is in check. It's been in question his last couple fights, but I think he goes out there and gets it done one way or another. Maybe even knockout.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. I don't know. Smells like a third round finish for Chris Curtis to me. But hey, someone's win streak's gonna come to an end here. All right. UFC 268, Usman versus Covington 2. We got Nasruddin Imavov, the Russian sniper out of France, taking on Edmen Shahbazyan. To me, autoplay Imavov. I mean, for the same reasons, it's like the same reasons as Green. I love his success recently. I think you get him at great value here. These are two young studs, but I think you got a better. I mean, Edmen ain't gonna take him down, I'll tell you that much. And I think Imavov's got more dangerous power. I think he kind of hangs back a little bit. The onus is going to be Edmen to come forward. Imavov is going to snipe him. I think he snipes him. Tapology's got Shahbazyan at 58%. He's still coming in at a plus. It's near even fight right now, but I think some money's coming in on the Russian sniper based on what I'm seeing, and I'm with it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'm going to go with the sniper here. Ian Heinisch couldn't get him down, and Ian Heinisch is much more of a bigger physical specimen than Edmen Shahbazyan. I think Nasruddin keeps him on the end of the jab, and this is going to be an interesting match. I feel like it's going to be one of those matches where we don't really see a lot of action, and it's a bit of a chess match. Probably take the decision.
That Heinisch fight's a great one to bring up because Ian Heinisch, stud on a little bit of a run there, kind of fell a little bit against Gastelum, but still looked good. Came in there against Imavov and got put down. So actually, no, that was what happened. Yeah, and
see me yawning over here, guys. They got me working the late night, the graveyard shift over here. I'm dying. Overtime.
I know Dan is not here to give his pick right now. I think he had to take a potty break. And
all right.
Yeah, okay. So Ian Heinisch will be fighting Sam Alvey, though, next, and that's a fight that I'll be all over Ian Heinisch in. All right, well, in the meantime,
Sam Alvey.
While we wait for Dan, let's just jump
Dude, breaking news, Alexa Kimura just got taken off in the last couple hours.
Okay, interesting. Yep, I see this.
Yeah.
Kimura's injured. I would have picked Kimura there.
I was thinking so, too. I thought he was the better option of the two. I think it would have been a good way for him to get back. He's had a lot of tough fights. I don't think he's had a win in the UFC yet, right?
No, I don't think he has. All right, guys. Well, Dan is going to be right back, I guess. In the meantime, let's just move right on. This guy, Ian Garry, is an absolute stud. He finishes everybody in the first round, apparently. First or second. He's like super good, apparently. And he's coming in with a lot of hype behind him, taking on Jordan Williams, who 9-5, had a less than impressive performance against Mickey Gall. I think this is bait all day. I think Ian Garry probably gets the finish, and he's the future. That's his nickname, and I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of him. Get on the trade now. I'm taking Ian Garry.
Yeah, the elephant in the room, diabetes is no joke, and I don't know if any fighter should really be allowed to fight if they have diabetes. Like, that's tough. Like, cutting weight.
Allowed. I mean, that's a little crazy, Alex.
I mean, they should be allowed, but I don't think they would be able to perform on a high enough level to do it in terms of like cutting weight and all that stuff. Like, that must be tough. I couldn't imagine. I'm taking Ian Garry here. The one thing you got to give him credit for, unlike all these other idiots in Ireland, he hightailed out of there and got to a good gym like Sanford and Sons. So yeah, I'm going with Ian Garry here. Easiest pick of the night.
Amazing. Yeah, that's an easy one. Okay, next fight. You got it pulled up right in front of you?
Yeah, it's John Allan versus your boy, Dustin Jacoby.
Oh, Dustin Jacoby on short notice, huh? Against the guy I was already planning on betting against? Damn. Tempted. You know he's got a salty taste in his mouth coming off that Ian Cutelaba fight. He definitely gave it to Darren Stewart. Looked pretty good. Give me the short notice guy and Dustin Jacoby. Give me the Hanyak.
Yeah, I'm also taking Dustin Jacoby here. John Allan, the only win he's had in the UFC, or not even the UFC, his last. Oh no, yeah. The last win he had in the UFC was ruled a no contest for banned substance, and then he had a split decision against Roman Dolidze. Yeah, that Roman Dolidze leaves guys in there a little too long. He plays with his food just a little bit. I think Dustin Jacoby goes out there and dusts him. Ooh.
Dan, you got 3 fights to bring everybody up to speed on. Give us your take on the Imavov fight, the Garry fight, and now this one.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to take Edmen Shahbazyan. I think that people forget how young this guy is. Still a lot of potential there and growing. I like his last fight where he went 3 full rounds with Jack Hermanson, and we know that this guy has knockout power. So I'm looking to see that come into play against the Russian sniper here from France, who, he's got some good volume and he has some pretty redeeming qualities, but I don't see him taking out Edmen. And I do see Edmen having some good advantages going into this one. I think the UFC likes him and they want him to succeed. So give me Edmen in that. What is the next fight that I'm looking at here?
Ian Garry versus Jordan Williams. You'll remember Jordan Williams.
Oh, yeah. This is a parlay pillar. I'm going to go with Ian Garry. Jordan Williams is there to be hit. I mean, this is a guy who was getting pieced up by Mickey Gall on the feet, if you could believe that. So Ian Garry, if you look at him, I know this is a UFC debut for him, but if you check in his past MMA fights, this is a guy who can really strike. The jab is really crisp and fluid, and I think it's going to be there all day against the guy like Jordan Williams, who was very, very little striking defense. So the price tag is big, but definitely worth it. It could be Ian Garry. And what are we on now? We're on.
I'll tell you. So Alexa Kimura's out with an injury. John Allan now faces Dustin Jacoby.
Bearing the fact that Dustin Jacoby is ready to fight and good to go, I do like him in this matchup. I've been pretty impressed with him in the last couple of fights here. The kickboxing is absolutely there. And I think that's something that's going to continue in this matchup against a guy who's been popped for PEDs and has, even with his PEDs, hasn't looked all that impressive. So give me Dustin Jacoby on a nice little hot streak here.
All right. And Alex took Imavov, so did I. So you're the lone guy on Shahbazyan here. And we both went with Ian Garry. So that's a Triple P certified pick there. And we all three went with the Hanyak, Dustin Jacoby. So that's another Triple P certification on short notice. Don't get those very often, guys. We know the stats, 37%. Win rate, he'll be in the 37. Trust me, I'm already going to pick against the other guy. So, the next fight, baby, it's that time.
I got a nice little stick of butter here that I'm frying up.
It is that time for the Fat Boy fight of the night. Gian Villante versus Chris Barnett. 17-13, Gian Villante going in there for the 30th time, taking on 21-7 Chris Barnett. Gian Villante coming in at 265. What do you think, boys? Who wants to take this one first?
I'll take it right off the bat. I'm going to go with Barnett, baby. Two fat boys. One fat boy doesn't seem to have the best cardio, and the other guy does. I'm going with Barnett. It's going to be a slop fest of a fight. It's dead even as of now. Last time I checked, at minus 110 apiece. But I'm honestly going to go with Barnett here. Guy throws a lot more volume, has a lot more cardio ability. And Villante, he doesn't have to travel much on this one. He's going to be eating pepperoni pizzas 24 hours right before. Yeah, man, give me Barnett, more experienced heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Gian Villante during cutting season when he's supposed to be at the beach flexing, looking good for the ladies. He was big and fat and disgusting. How do you think he is during bulking season, boys? It's the winter. You're supposed to put on a few extra lbs just to keep warm.
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
I think that was Gian Villante. I think that was Gian Villante.
Not Gian Villante. It's Chris Barnett for me. Beast boy. He goes out there and gets it done. We saw him against Ben Rothwell. He looked good in the first round, but he faded. That was on very, very short notice. I think Beast boy goes out here and gets it done.
Triple P certified Chris Barnett, been waiting to bet on him, wanted to take a little stab at him when he took on Rothwell. Anything can happen, right? Had a competitive first round. He does his thing. Fun guy. Really is just a punishment for Villante. Definitely not going to get a Triple P certification for Villante, let alone a pick. This fight, guys, flip a coin in there. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? Literally anything could happen. But give me Chris Barnett. He's going to go in there like a fucking tornado. Take fucking Gian Villante's head off. All right. Usman versus Covington 2, guys. Let's take it away. We got a couple more fights to break down. 2 specifically. We got the gun, Melsik Baghdasaryan. He's coming in against Bruno Souza. Short notice, kind of, for Souza. The gun was originally going to take on TJ Laramie. And I don't know. At 145, Bruno Silva, don't know too much about him, but I think there's a lot of steam behind the gun. He looked good against Colin Anglin. Coming off the Contender Series, that's a competitive series. Other than that, we look at his opponent. He used to headline LFA, just like Alex Pereira. Took on earlier this year in August, Javier Garcia. So definitely a step up in competition from 7-4 Garcia. Kamala Kirk took him to split decision, who we've seen have not very much success in the UFC. I don't know, guys. To me, it looks like the gun, but maybe I'm falling for something here. I think the gun can avoid the submissions and get the knockout, maybe.
Yeah, Souza has not been all that impressive to me when I'm looking at the video here. Likes to play around in the guard a lot, and he's going up against a guy in Melsik who's young, really strong, really explosive, and ready to rock, man. I think the striking is pretty out of this world. And a young guy who's only going to get better. And I think this is a nice little serve-up job from the UFC. I think it seems like they really like this guy. They put him on big cards, and this is a nice little spot for him. And I think he's going to show up and show out. And I think a sprinkle KO prop is in need for this fight. So give me Melsik. Like it.
Hey, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm also taking Melsick here. He fought Dennis Bazooka. He's a pretty good wrestler. I think he'll be able to keep it on the feet. These Brazilian guys, they don't have the best takedowns per se. That's what Glover said. Glover said the thing that really changed his game was learning a bunch of takedowns, because what's the point of having jiu-jitsu if you can't take it there? So I'm going with the gun here as well. I don't think the Tiger gets it done, but he's a young and up-and-coming prospect. He might be able to make some waves later.
Love it. And that just leaves one last fight for us, and it's going to be CJ Vergara taking on Ode Osbourne. CJ Vergara, man, coming off that win on the Contender Series against Bruno Correa earlier this year, September. Before that, fought again this year in Fury FC against Jacob Silva. That was back in March. So this guy's active. He's getting in there. He's competing. Not a ton of notable wins besides a split decision loss in 2015 to one Jonathan Martinez, who's a UFC contender right now. Other than that, no one of note. Ode Osbourne, though, had a nice fight against Manel Cape, whatever you want to say. I took Ode in that fight. I was riding high off that Jerome Rivera win he had earlier this year. I was like, let me go with Ode here. He got knocked out with a flying knee. Manel Cape showed us why he's Starboy, why he's in here. Man, this is a tough one, man. I want to go with Ode here. I'm going to go with Ode. What do you guys think?
I'll also go with Ode. I think he's a little bit more well-rounded than CJ. I know he's got a bunch of finishes in a row, but again, not going up against the best talent in the world, and just the eye test for me doesn't seem like it's anything that's really popping off the screen here. So Ode Osbourne, again, in his own right, a very explosive athlete, someone who seems to have a very good understanding of mixed martial arts, the entire thing. So I'm going to go with the guy that's a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more UFC experience. And I think we're going to get him at minus 170. So not the worst price tag in the world, but be wary. First fight of the night. Play around with it.
I'm going to take Varga here. I just think that Ode Osbourne has disappointed me in every single fight I've ever bet on him. And his only win in the UFC is against Jerome Rivera. And the win on the Contender Series, the guy only had, I think, one fight since. Yeah. No, that was his last fight ever. So I'm gonna go with the dog here, CJ Varga. I think he's hot and up and coming. He's fresh off the Contender Series. This is the new wave of the Contender Series. The first couple seasons, they didn't really have as good of a crop. I feel like the new guys coming in are the next up for sure.
All right, so let's take everybody through all of our picks here at the end. Guys, we just gave you all of our picks on a 14-fight card. That's 3 times 28 or 14. That's 42 picks. Am I right? 42? 42 picks. We just gave you 42 picks, and we just told you our accuracy is 66, 67, 62. What was it? Year 2 records. We're 84 out of 117 PPP certified picks in year 2, 72% PPP certified picks, 6-6 last event, and 39 out of 45 in the last 7 events. 87% over the last 7 PPP certified picks. We're going to give you what our PPP certified picks are right now. We're going to give you all of our picks on this card in order, in a row. Here, we're going to run down them. Whoever's ready first can go. But in the meantime, I want you guys to follow me on Instagram at PPP Certified. Follow Alex on Instagram at EuroWonderKing. Follow Dan on Twitter at perfect_parlay. Join the Discord. We have a Discord where we post all of these picks that we're going to give you right now. These are our picks. How we assemble them into parlays. That we take a screenshot of, we put in the Discord. You'll see them there. Those are where we keep our open bets. There's also a tribe of about 120 people in that Discord that share bets, picks. They're sharing everything in there, and it's all done in that Discord. It goes down in the Discord every Saturday. People are chatting. They're having fun. They're posting their predictions. They're sharing their bets in the wins and in the losses. A lot of good minds in there. Shout out to the Discord. Please join that if you want. But for now, let's just take everybody through this week's picks.
All right, I'll start off. I got Kamaru Usman at the very top, going down to Rose Namajunas. 2 back-to-back winners there. I think they're going to repeat once again, both of them. Going to Justin Gaethje at minus 210. Alex Pereira, Bobby Green, Shane Burgos, Ian Garry, the newcomer, Frankie Edgar, hometown underdog here, plus 145. Edmen Shahbazyan, Chris Curtis at plus 260, juicing that parlay up. Ode Osbourne, Chris Barnett, Melsik Bagdasarian, and that is it. I also have Dustin Jacoby, who as of this moment not listed in DraftKings, but with those 13 picks and a $10 wager, we're looking at, once again, as of last week, hopefully it hits this time, $11,000. $11,038.73 to be exact.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I'm taking some moonshots over here because I got Phil Hall, CJ Varga, The Gun, Chris Barnett, Marlon Vera, Nasruddin Imavov, Ian Garry, Billy Quarantillo, Bobby Green, Andre Michailidis, Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas, and Colby Covington. That's without Dustin Jacoby yet. They still haven't added that. $10 will get you $37,936.19.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's only 3 dogs, baby.
Place the bet right now. Okay, so starting from the top, we got Colby Covington plus 250 as of right now on DraftKings, odds subject to change. If you have a problem gambling, contact 100 Gambling. Colby Covington plus 250, Rose Namajunas minus 105, Michael Chandler, dog number 2, plus 175, Alex Pereira minus 255, Bobby Green minus 195, Billy Quarantillo plus 170, Ian Garry minus 375, Nasruddin Imavov minus 125, Marlon Vera minus 165, Ode Osbourne minus 170, Melsik Bagdasarian minus 310, Chris Barnett minus 110, Chris Curtis plus 260. Without Dustin Jacoby, that is a $10 bet on that 13-fight parlay to pay $56,000 dollars. Place bet. The bet is placed, and I'm gonna keep those picks in the bet slip. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna drop Chris Barnett from that motherfucker, and I'm gonna drop who else? Let's just drop Ode Osbourne from there.
Yeah.
Let's just drop who else? Pereira, and Chandler. All right, now that 9-fight parlay. Hold on, that 9-fight parlay. $5 bet for $2,000. We'll pay that one out. Well, we'll just hedge a little bit. You know, it makes all the sense in the world. Now, what are our Triple B certified picks? I know that we're gonna Triple B certify Rose, and I know that we're not Triple B certifying. We're Triple B certifying Bobby Green.
Yep.
Ian Garry.
Yep.
Cheeto Vera. No, you're taking Edgar. Ode Osbourne. No, Alex is taking CJ. Melvin Bagdasarian. Melsik, taking him. And I know Alex is taking Hawes, and we're all taking Chris Barnett. Okay.
We're all taking Jacoby, too.
Chris Barnett. All right. And we're all taking Jacoby. So that's 6. We had 6 out of 6 last weekend. Let's do it again. Chris Barnett, that's Pick'em. Melsik Bagdasarian, minus 310. Ian Garry, minus 365. Bobby Green, minus 195. Rose Namajunas, minus 105. And Dustin Jacoby on short notice. Odds yet to be posted. Those are our 6 Triple B certified picks. Yeah, they're favorites just because we all fucking agree. It's the ones we all agree on. Like, we're all taking dogs too. I took several dogs. I just saw my parlay. $13 parlay, $10 to win, $56K. Alex's parlay is stacked this week. We're stacking cheddar. Let's go, boys. Anything you left to say?
Love you guys.
Enjoy Monday Night Football, everybody. Take care.